So that certain nameless person just lost big time. Why do I say that? Well, JD, he dropped an absolute bombshell. He not only called out that nameless person, but he called out that nameless person's co-conspirators. He said, and I quote, that nameless person does not appear to be filing their own litigation expenses. They're not showing anything in their tax returns, aka somebody else is behind the scenes and they're footing the bill. Now, JD's team, they don't stop there. Oh no, not by a long shot. They also name co-conspirators. They say that these co-conspirators, they seem to be serving as adjunct counsel, aka they're giving legal advice behind the scenes, trying to help them out there, even though that nameless person ripped them off for $3.5 million. They say that right here in their filing. Now, these accusations are huge, by the way. Why? Because it puts other folks in the crosshairs besides that nameless person, saying, again, that they're the ones footing the bills. They're the ones behind all of these moves. And yeah, that might actually require somebody to open up the books to prove what's going on. And can you imagine the fireworks when that happens? Like I said, that is the biggest loss you can have for that nameless person, because that scares the people that are backing them. Oh man, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And let me make something clear with this document. We are not going to review the entirety of it. Why? Because we're talking about 19 entire pages. This thing, it would take us over an hour to review it. But this, it is a shot back by JD's team saying that nameless person is trying to waste our time. They're trying to kick this case yet again on appeal. This would be the third time plus an appeal. So really, you're talking 4 times at doing that. And yeah, they don't pull any punches whatsoever in this thing. Even the first sentence of the preliminary statement, normally reserved for legalese and arguments, gets spicy. I mean, listen to this sentence and it gets better from here. The motion represents yet another baseless attempt by that nameless person to escape the consequences of her lies. That, it's pretty much cutting through everything. This person, they don't want to go to trial. They want to escape what they did, and you can't let them. Now, with any document like this, you get a lot of background. I'm going to skip most of it, but I want to read you this part right here. Why? Because this is the first allegation about that nameless person not paying their court bills, other people paying them, and they say that they have proof of that. Oh, listen up here. So after the UK judgment was rendered, JD obtained discovery in this action showing that that nameless person has lied about donating her entire divorce settlement to charity. Discovery in this action has also revealed that that nameless person does not appear to be covering their own litigation expenses in connection with this action. That nameless person's tax returns, which she produced in this case, show no deductions for business expenses that would be associated with this case. JD accordingly believes that that nameless person's litigation expenses are being covered by a third party or parties. And you know exactly who they're talking about, too. They're talking about that certain organization out there. You know, the one that's a co-conspirator on the Washington Post article, and or they're talking about a certain Rocket Man. Now, the background, it calls out one other crucial bit of information. It calls out these delay tactics. It calls out the fact that the nameless person is not making this court happy. You can see this mentioned multiple times. The court denied that nameless person's request to stay discovery, cautioned that nameless person that her proposed amendments on the supplemental plea appeared to be futile and could be sanctionable. And when the judge handed in their opinion on this, they said that this move, it was quote-unquote misguided and only thinly supported by pre-existing law. Despite that, though, that nameless person has appealed that decision. That's where now, as far as the argument against this move is concerned, that's where things really get spicy. I'm only covering a portion of that, mind you, but you can see here, there are pages upon pages of argument. You have legal standards, you have basically items that rebuff the idea that this meets criteria, and so much more. Now, as this argument ensues, the gloves come off, things that get really, really spicy. And you know what? Like I said, this is a loss for that nameless person. Why? Because they're co-conspirators. They're called out by name. You can see this right here at the bottom. We're going to read that. These places, they want to operate in the dark. They may foot the bill. They may have an agenda, but they don't want that agenda known. Why? Because it is hard to fundraise when you have this kind of stuff attached to your name. But JD, he talks about how it's all been delayed. JD filed this action March 2019. In the ordinary course of events, a trial on his claims would have taken place in spring of 2020. I mean, think about that. That's how long this has been going. However, because of the beer bug and related orders for the government office and the Supreme Court of Virginia, the trial of this case has been repeatedly continued and is now set for a 4-week jury trial, April 2022. The delays associated with the beer bug have only been exacerbated by that nameless person's scorched earth litigation tactics. Over the course of this litigation, that nameless person is hired and fired 3 sets of legal counsel. That's true, by the way. Every time she doesn't get her way, she fires the people representing her in Virginia, California, and New York, and has been bolstered by a phalanx of counsel from the ACLU who appear to be serving as adjunct counsel for that nameless person, notwithstanding the fact that the nameless person failed to make good on the $3.5 million pledge to the organization. Again, direct call out of the organization. They are working as adjunct counsel. They're giving this person legal advice. And why are they doing that? Considering this person, they didn't make good on the $3.5 million pledge. Now, a few short sentences later, that call out, it continues. And I love this, by the way, because again, it's saying JD, he's the one having to pay for all of this. He was the falsely accused. He's the one footing all the bills, while that nameless person has these other people taking care of everything. Quote, all of these delays and that nameless person's specious litigation tactics have come almost entirely at JD's expense, as that nameless person does not appear to be paying for her own counsel, but rather having a third party or parties foot the bill. Now, my absolute favorite part of this, though, is how that nameless person and their co-conspirators, they seek to justify this behavior. I mean, listen to this, because according to them, they're doing this all for JD. I mean, aren't they great? Quote, this would be in JD's best interest because a ruling in that nameless person's favor would save JD millions of dollars in not pursuing the next 9 months of expensive discovery and motion practice, as well as trial preparation and 4 weeks trial. That's right. They're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it for him. Oh man, aren't they the greatest? Isn't it interesting too? That nameless person said that they want to go to trial. They have all of this information they're going to share. Basically, it's going to clear their name, only to try to shut this down, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 and counting. Good times, huh? But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff. And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work, so thank you. I can't say that enough. Also, want to help the channel out? Links are in the description. Definitely check those out. But you being here, that matters. So thank you. I appreciate you, and we will see you soon.